Have you ever felt completely exhausted, not because you ran a marathon or worked a double shift, but because something invisible was slowly eating you alive from the inside? The most dangerous things in life don't come at you with a scream, they creep in with a whisper. Welcome to INVICTUS X. Today, we are going to silence the noise and perform surgery on the soul. We live in an era where busy is a badge of honor and exhaustion is a status symbol. But there's a distinct difference between being tired from hard work and being drained by spiritual leakage. You might be physically healthy, eating right and sleeping 8 hours, yet you wake up heavy. Why? Because you are carrying invisible poisons. The ancient Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they didn't practice their philosophy on Instagram. They practiced it in the quiet chambers of their own minds. They understood a fundamental truth that we have forgotten. You cannot build a fortress if the foundation is rotting. We are going to walk through 7 specific toxic habits. These aren't just bad habits, they are silent killers of potential. And to fix them, we don't need a public declaration. We don't need a Facebook post announcing, "I'm changing my life." No, real change is a silent, violent act of inner rebellion. Let's begin the work. 1. The addiction to validation. Let's be honest about something uncomfortable. How many times today did you check your phone, not for information, but for a hit of dopamine? We are the first generation in history to carry a slot machine in our pockets, but instead of coins, we are gambling for human approval. From the time we are children, we are trained like circus animals. You do a trick, you get a treat. You get a good grade, you get a gold star. As adults, this morphs into a desperate hunger for likes, for the nod of approval in a meeting, for someone to tell us you matter. But here is the danger. When you outsource your self-worth to the crowd, you become a slave to their mood. Imagine a sculptor who stops chiseling every 5 seconds to ask passers-by, "Do you like it? Should I change the nose? Is the arm too long?" By the end of the day, he hasn't made art, he has made a monstrosity of public opinion. When you silence this need, you stop performing and start living. You make choices because they align with your code, not because they look good on a feed. Stop asking for permission to be who you are. 2. The trap of comparison. There is an old saying, comparison is the thief of joy, but I believe it's worse than that. Comparison is the assassin of destiny. I had a friend, let's call him James. James was a brilliant writer. He was working on his first novel, pouring his soul into it. One day, he went online and saw a former classmate had just hit the bestseller list at age 25. James looked at his own messy draft, felt a wave of nausea, and closed his laptop. He didn't write for 3 months. Why? Because he compared his behind the scenes, his messy, difficult process, to someone else's highlight reel. This is the poison. You are judging your chapter 1 against someone else's chapter 20. It is an unfair trial where you are the judge, jury, and executioner, and you always find yourself guilty. Stoicism teaches us to stay in our own lane. Look at nature. A rose does not look at a sunflower and feel anxious because it's not as tall. It just blooms. When you focus on your own path, the noise fades, and suddenly you have the energy to grow again. 3. The habit of constant complaining. This is perhaps the most socially acceptable poison on the list. We bond over it. The traffic is terrible. My boss is an idiot. The weather is depressing. It feels like venting. It feels like relief. But neurologically, it is a disaster. There is a concept in neuroscience. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Every time you complain, you are physically rewiring your brain to scan the environment for negativity. You are becoming a heat-seeking missile for problems. I challenge you to a silent experiment. For the next 24 hours, try not to complain, not once. Not about the coffee being cold, not about the slow internet. You will find it is incredibly difficult. You will realize how much of your mental RAM is being used to process things you cannot control. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" switch the narrative to, "What is this teaching me?" Complaining keeps you a victim. Silence makes you a master. 4. Relationships that drain you. We often hold on to people like we hold on to old clothes that don't fit anymore, out of nostalgia, guilt, or fear of emptiness. But here is a hard truth that INVICTUS X stands by. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If those 5 people are anchors, you will drown no matter how hard you swim. I'm not talking about abandoning friends in need. I'm talking about the energy vampires, the people who only call when they need something, the people who leave you feeling exhausted, gray and heavy after a 10-minute coffee. This doesn't require a dramatic breakup scene. You don't need to scream, "You are toxic," and storm out. Do it in silence. Slowly withdraw your energy. Limit your availability. Imagine you have a limited amount of water in your canteen and you are crossing a desert. You cannot afford to pour it into a cup that has a hole in the bottom. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is essential for survival.
Number 5. Guilt that isn't yours. Many of you are carrying backpacks filled with rocks that don't belong to you. You feel guilty for your parents' unhappiness. You feel guilty for your partner's bad mood. You feel guilty for taking an hour to yourself. This is what I call the savior complex. You believe that if you just suffer enough, you can save everyone around you. But Stoicism draws a line in the sand, the dichotomy of control. You control your actions. You do not control others' reactions. If you set a boundary and someone gets upset, that is their reaction to manage, not yours to fix. When you release this guilt, you aren't becoming cold, you are becoming capable. You cannot help anyone if you are crushed under the weight of the world. Put the backpack down. It was never yours to carry. Number 6. Resistance to change. Human beings are biologically wired to prefer a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. We stay in jobs we hate, relationships that hurt us, and cities that bore us, simply because we know what to expect. There is a story of a general who landed his army on enemy shores. As soon as the soldiers disembarked, he gave the order to burn their own ships. The men watched their only exit go up in flames. The general turned to them and said, "Now we either win or we die." They won. Why? Because retreat was not an option. Resistance to change is fear disguised as logic. It whispers, "Maybe next year," or "I'm not ready." You will never be ready. Transformation is cold water. You just have to jump. The pain of change is sharp and temporary. The pain of regret is dull, chronic, and lasts forever. Choose your pain. 7. Denying what you feel. Finally, let's address a misconception about Stoicism. Many think being Stoic means being a robot, feeling nothing, showing nothing. This is false. Stoicism is not the absence of emotion. It is the domestication of emotion. Denying your feelings is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. You can do it for a while, but eventually your arms will tire and that ball is going to fly up and hit you in the face. If you are angry, admit it to yourself. I am angry. If you are sad, sit with it. When you deny your feelings, they retreat into the shadow. They come out as passive aggression, as anxiety, as sudden outbursts of rage. To master yourself, you must be honest with yourself.
I am feeling weak today. That admission is actually strength. It allows you to address the root cause rather than fighting the symptom.
So, here we are. You have 7 poisons to eliminate: validation, comparison, complaining, draining ties, false guilt, stagnation, suppression. You don't need to fix them all by tomorrow morning. That is not how nature works. A tree does not grow in a day, but you must start, and you must start in silence. Do not tell your friends you are changing. Do not post about it. Just do the work. Let your results speak so loudly that you never have to say a word. This is the path of the Invictus, the unconquered soul. If you're ready to make this pact with yourself, I want you to leave a mark in the comments below. Don't write a paragraph, just write this one simple sentence to seal your commitment. I choose to let go in silence. It's time to reclaim your energy. It's time to become who you were meant to be. This is INVICTUS X. We don't just watch videos here, we build character. Share your story or your struggle in the comments. I read them, and this community supports its own. Until next time, walk in silence and let your actions thunder.